the issue of allowances for teacher and nurse trainees is a subject of heated debate between the two political parties that have formed government in the Fourth Republic. Allowances for the students was reintroduced by the Akufo-Addo government but has been dogged by delays in payments. Now, in the following report, Citi Newsroom's Bevel in London engages stakeholders to assess the scheme and asks if it is about time it got suspended.
The issue of stipends for teacher and nurse trainees was a significant focal point during the build-up to the 2016 general elections. The scheme, which has been in existence for about 20 years, was scrapped in 2014 by the then NDC government. Former President John Dramani Mahama explained at the time that the decision was to allow government to expand various health and educational infrastructure as well as remove the restrictions on admissions to the various training institutions. The NPP, in the build-up to the 2016 elections, capitalized on the cancellation of the scheme and promised its restoration, which it did after winning the polls. How do beneficiaries assess the scheme?
The restoration of the allowance, I would say that it has contributed immensely toward the development of the teacher education. And all trainees who have completed and those still in the College of Education see the allowance as a lifeline. And for that, it really helps us a lot so far as we are undergoing training in the Colleges of Education. Many trainees budgets, so far as they are still on campus is concerned, against the allowance, because when the allowance comes, it is that money that trainees use to purchase their textbooks and other reading materials. As a matter of fact, we cannot talk about College of Education and be talking about active Wi-Fi that students are using for free in research work so far as their training is concerned, and therefore it is these same money that they use to buy bundles and other internet-related requirements.
Some years into its implementation, however, the trainees began complaining about the delays in the release of the allowances, with some associations threatening protest, a situation which still persists.
Those in first year currently are being owed 7 months. Those in second year are being owed 14 months and others 17 months. Those in third year who are writing their licential exams are being owed 14 months and also 17 months others. For those who are doing their national services are being owed 9 months, whilst others are also owed 12 months.
What has been the engagement?
We've engaged the stakeholders, including our mother association, that's the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives, and we've also engaged the Ministry of Health. We've sent several petitions to them, and it's to know that there's no results to that.
We've received only 4 months out of the academic year, so we are still waiting on the governments to do the payments for the other months left. The government is trying to pay the allowance to us based on the number of days we spend on campus. Previously, it used to be 240 days for the 16 weeks in the semester, and the 16 weeks in the next semester, making 32 weeks. But now we are doing 175 days. So if for that fact, it means we will be expecting 2 months payments. However, we are not okay with that. We are still looking forward to see the minister to also explain our points for him to understand if that is really the case that the ministry is undertaking to pay the allowance to us as against the number of days we spend on campus. Because with this double shift and double track system we are going through, it is not something that we brought on ourselves.
Despite these challenges, the students say they'd rather opt for the delays in payments than a complete cancellation.
The allowance benefits the students more. Let's take, for instance, we going for our clinicals or our internships. These allowances support and also help also paying our fees, supporting us in other areas too. And with the nurses, trainee nurses and midwives, we are not qualified, or we are not able to access the students' loan. So this is the only way we can also try to resolve some of the issues or challenges we face with regards to our fees and other problems that we face as nurses and midwives. So that I would say the allowance shouldn't be scraped off, but rather should be paid and should be paid regularly. That's what I also appeal to the government to do.
Do you think the non-payment of the allowances would somehow affect the choice of people in the next election?
You are being political here, but it's very true.
It was a political promise.
Yes, it was. So once it's a political promise to we the students, definitely it's going to have an effect if the government fails to fulfill its promise to us.
In the case of the teacher trainees, they want the government to increase the amount from 400 cedis to 600 cedis.
No school of thought would beat our understanding to say that the allowance should not be paid or it should be cancelled. And even if there will be any kind of dialogue with this allowance thing, we expect that the government will increase the allowance, because it was 400 cedis since 2017-2018, and you and I would also agree that the status, or let me say the value of 400 cedis as at 2017 and comparing to the value of 400 cedis in this present day Ghana, there is a vast difference. So a talk or dialogue on this allowance, we trainees would wish that as trainees and also as citizens of this particular country who have education at heart, would wish that the government would rather increase the allowance. Say 600 cedis wouldn't be bad for us at all.
Education think tank Africa Education Watch is of the view that the payment of the allowance be scrapped. The institution has on numerous occasions argued that governments could rechannel these funds into providing quality education at the basic level. Citi News picked the views of the general public on what they make of the scheme.
It's been long overdue. I think it should be scrapped, because if you are to compare those in the teacher trainees and those in the nursing training colleges with those in our traditional universities, you know that right after completion, those in the training colleges and the nursing training colleges, right after completion and after writing their prescribed exams, they are posted. So in a way, their jobs are already there right after completion. But when you compare it with those in the traditional universities, they will have to struggle for their own jobs. So in a way, it's not fair. And looking at our current financial challenges, I think it will be a good deal if we have to scrap it.
So much for nursing side, so much because nurse for no movie or moon serve Emma nation. So movie no e be to coin. And majority need to coin. And Kakranos na stay. Me to minutes allowance na we. Na a teacher for the news no. A teacher for the me say no pa, because teacher for no almost stay a sing he say e be no mum be too kwan no.
The delay in the payment of the allowances is not the only issue that needs attention in the education sector. The General Secretary for the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Thomas Musa, says government must heed to calls for a dialogue.
You see, you have to be intentional when it comes to protecting national development, developing. You have to be intentional about it. This piecemeal approach, today we come here, we hit small, tomorrow we go here, it will not help anybody. We are asking for a national dialogue. Bring all the issues on the table and let us look at them one by one. How to sustain the programs. It will help all of us. Look, there is nothing now you are doing that I will say it's no good. The free SHS is an excellent thing. Nobody will tell you that the free SHS is no good. It's an excellent thing. And the president will have to be commended for it. To support teachers who go into the training college, who is saying it's not good, it's an excellent thing. But can we sustain it?
Despite the delays in the payment of these allowances to the trainees, they are insisting that government maintains it and also, if possible, increase the amounts given to them. The general public has also shared their diverse views on the matter. You, as a viewer, what do you make of the payment of these allowances to the trainees? Reporting for Citi News, Beverly Langdon.